Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be going over another 15 lesser known facts about old school RuneScape. Occasionally I'll throw one in from RuneScape Classic or RS2. However, mostly going to be focused around old school RuneScape. These are mainly going to be Easter eggs, fun little facts, but occasionally I'll throw something in that actually may have a real life application. If you have any interesting facts you don't think anyone knows about or lesser known things about the game, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to include it in a future video. Anyway guys, hope you enjoy and let's get started. First up here we actually have something that was removed, but back in 2016 there used to be a pub in the Hosidius house called the Haymakers Arms. However, on November 17th of 2016 with the Great Corrend rework, the pub was actually removed. Now what's interesting about this is the tavern was actually named after Mod Ash's favorite pub in Cambridge. On Twitter he said, "It was deleted in a previous remapping of Zaya. The drunken farmers from it have found their way to the Golden Field along with the lady who worked there. However, I was sorry to see it go. It was named after my favorite pub, Haymakers." Now I know one of the larger problems in old school RuneScape right now is most people don't know how to get multiple mime masks. Well, it's just been brought to my attention that you can in fact get unlimited mime outfits or mime masks. Now what you need to do is you get a black beret and you sew the mime mask onto it to make a beret mask. Normally when you've acquired the full mime outfit, you can no longer get mime pieces from that event. However, if you attach the black beret and a mask, the next mime event that you do, you will get the mask again, and the mask with berets will stack in your bank, so theoretically you could get unlimited mime masks. Did you know that there are actually over 2,400 planes of existence in the RuneScape world? Now you first discover this by talking to Urxel, who is an otherworldly being in Zanaris. Now he says there's 2,400 of them. Now we don't know about that many of the different planes yet. Example of realms are the Abyss, which you do runecrafting in, the Enchanted Valley, the Fisher Realm, the Gorak Plane, the Infernal Dimension, the Killerwatt Plane, Puro Puro, Scape Rune, Zanaris is a pretty obvious one. However, there are lesser known ones as well, like the Runecrafting Altar, and there's even a plane of existence where the Shield of Arav was created. Now next up here is something from RuneScape Classic, and that is the Black Hole. The Black Hole was Jagex's early punishment system before they implemented like a banning system. If you misbehaved, you went to the Black Hole as a punishment, and you have to stay there for an undefined amount of time. Back in RuneScape Classic, some players were actually deliberately breaking the rules to get sent to the Black Hole, as a lot of people wanted to see what it looked like and they thought it was interesting. However, because of this, they decided to make the Black Hole accessible to regular players, even if you hadn't broken any of the rules. However, it was eventually removed as some players were getting stuck there for dropping their disc of returning, which caused them to not be able to leave until a member of the Jagex staff removed them. You're able to visit the Black Hole by selecting the Activate option on a disc of returning if you're in the Dwarven Mines. You'll encounter an NPC by the name of Thorder, but you won't be able to move around. Now, do you guys remember the original Crack the Clue? Well, you can still obtain the Helm of Raedwald in-game. You're going to need a spade, a nature rune, a super anti-poison with 1 dose, and a pair of leather boots. And you need to dig between the 4 iron rocks by the cave entrance east of the clock tower. I think it's extremely cool that you can go ahead and still get this item. The helmet's design is actually based on a helmet that was found in an archaeological site and is believed to have belonged to Raedwald of East Anglia. God, I probably butchered that. Also, if you examine the helmet, it actually has a very subtle reference to a Game of Thrones. The examine text reads, "An ancient helmet of King Raedwald in the North," which could be a subtle reference to the King in the North from Game of Thrones. Now with the release of the Making Friends with My Arm quest, we got 3 new salts. They are called the Tay Salt, the F Salt, and the Urt Salt. However, if you put them together, they spell out Teeth Hurt, or Teeth Hurt, which suggests that the trolls attempted to eat them before discovering its use for fire making. Did you know that in old school RuneScape, weight is actually stored in grams? Now this generally doesn't affect any items significantly, as most of them weigh a certain amount of kilos. However, that's just the way that the integer system works. This actually makes the highest possible weight for a single item 32.767 kilograms, which is surprising because I think some of those items probably weigh more than that. However, in-game it's not possible to get a weight higher than that just because of the restrictions the game was designed with. With the release of Fossil Island, we saw a new currency, and that was the Numelites. However, they're actually based off of an ancient Egyptian currency. It is actually a lens-shaped fossil that was used as currency in Egypt. It's recognizable by a numerous kind of coils going around the coin, which I think is a pretty cool reference and somewhat fitting, as fossil islands, nummulites, kind of makes sense. Now when you're fighting Cyclopses in the Warriors Guild, there's generally no way to damage it with anything other than melee. Cyclopses are immune to magic damage. This is because it's the Warriors Guild and they don't want people ranging them or maging them when you're really supposed to be training your melee stats. However, if you use a Saradomin's Tear on the Saradomin sword, you will get a Saradomin's Blessed sword. And actually the special attack does magic damage, and despite that you are still able to hit Cyclopses. So if you really want to kill a Cyclops with magic, you can use the special attack from the sword to do so, and it hits up to 72. Did you know that ghasts actually cannot rot tea? They rot pretty much everything food related. They'll rot Easter eggs, which are arguably not really for eating, and pretty much everything except for wines. However, for whatever reason, a cup of tea actually cannot be rotted. Now the reason for this could be that the cup of tea is actually classified as a potion, and ghasts don't rot potions. Otherwise it doesn't make that much sense, as it clearly is a drink and a food item because it does heal health. Now in Old School RuneScape there are quite a few unobtainable items. Some of the more interesting ones are the unobtainable Flatpacks. For whatever reason, these Flatpacks were never added into the game, and even up until 2016 you were even able to find the item on the Grand Exchange. However, none were ever traded as, well, the item's unobtainable. Some example of Flatpacks that were never added into the game: we have the Oak Lectern, the Mahogany Eagle, the Globe Flatpack, the Demon Lectern Flatpack. A moderator from Old School RuneScape was eventually asked about them. They said there's a number of Flatpacks that exist as objects in the game, but you can't actually create them because they were created when construction was being developed as a skill way back in 2005. The Flatpacks that exist were scrapped, but the objects weren't deleted, so they made it into the live game. We could make them flat packable, but there's no real benefit to it. The items were eventually removed from the Grand Exchange on an update on April 14th of 2016. There was actually once an error with the chat filter that led to the word fletching being blocked when you typed it in chat for one entire day. Like, I know the chat filter isn't good or anything, but come on. Obtaining a clue bottle is actually extremely rare. The base chance of obtaining a clue bottle from something like Karambwans is 170,000. However, if you're fishing something in the wilderness and you have equipped a Ring of Wealth imbue, you actually have double the base chance. But I really did not know that clue bottles were that rare. In RuneScape, there's actually quite a few unreleased music tracks. One that I have heard before, and a lot of people have, is Massacre, which was released during the World 666 event back in June of 2016. It's no longer accessible, but you could hear it actually in-game. However, that is not the only unreleased track. There is Athlete's Foot, which was written for the Speedy Gnome random event, but the whole idea was scrapped, but the track is completed and you can listen to it. And the last one is The Adventurer, which is an unused and unfinished music track meant for the tutorial update in 2008. This is actually a pretty cool track. I had never heard it before. I guess it's a little bit before 2007, but still quite an old school track that was never released into the game. There is a quest reward called History and Hearsay that is given for completing the quest, The Tale of the Righteous. However, this item was actually released on November 9th of 2017, along with the Queen of the Thieves quest. That being said, the item is actually unobtainable until the release of the Tale of the Righteous quest, April 19th of 2018. The item was also renamed on that date as well. Kind of interesting that the item was in game for so long. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. Those are 15 lesser known facts about Old School RuneScape. I hope you found it interesting. Again, if you have anything here that was not listed or in any of my previous videos, I will leave a link in the description for those if you are interested in some of the other fact videos that I have made. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a like. I always appreciate it, and I will see you next time.